All right, guys, I'm gonna explain when you should use the word inshallah. I see a lot of Muslims use inshallah as a kind of safety net for their laziness. You know, you know. I was talking with a couple Muslims, and they're kind of like inshallah with everything. And ultimately, inshallah just means what Allah wills, right? And but the problem with it is you don't know if that's what Allah willed unless you put in 110% effort in action. I see a lot of people, they're like, oh, inshallah, I'll achieve this result, but they only put in 50% effort. Like, how do you expect yourself to get the outcome that you want? And how do you know if this is actually what Allah willed you to have if you don't put in 110% effort? So you have to put in 110% effort first, right? And if you don't get the outcome or not, right? If you get the outcome, if you don't, then that's inshallah. Then that's what Allah willed. But you have to first put in the effort. You have to first put in the action every single day, right? In order to reveal if it is something that Allah has in store for you. But you have to put in effort. Like whether I'm gonna have a million, whether I'm gonna have like 1,000 subs on this YouTube channel. Ultimately, that is inshallah. That is completely inshallah because Allah is the one that provides for everything in my life. So Allah, it's up to Allah whether I'm going to get 1,000 subs or not. Okay, that's the outcome that I have no control over. But what I can do is I can take relentless action every day to make this a reality. But ultimately, I still have to put in effort. See, if Allah did not will me to have 1,000 subs, then I would have done all the action and not the outcome. And that's fine. But I have to make sure that I put all the action in, because then that's when I know that it's actually not what Allah willed. Because if I put in 110% effort, I posted every day, I did my part, and the outcome was not what I wanted, and I didn't get 1,000 subs on YouTube, then that is what ultimately what Allah willed. But you don't know that unless you put 110% effort. You have to put in 110% effort first before you can see if that's what Allah willed, right? Because you can't just say inshallah and put in 50% effort, 30% effort. Oh, inshallah, I'll be, jacked. I was talking to a Muslim, right? And a fellow Muslim brother, and I was like, okay, I'll coach you, and you get insane results. Like you'll be a beast. If you follow exactly what I say, you'll be a beast. And he told me, like, say inshallah. And I'm like, no. Like, that's inshallah only after you put in 110% effort. After you do everything I tell you, and you put 110% effort towards your physique, then inshallah, that's what Allah decides. But don't give me inshallah before you put in any effort. Okay? A lot of people say like, oh, I don't have this because of inshallah. It's like, no. It's like you just didn't put enough effort. So you don't know if it really was inshallah. See, the true meaning behind inshallah is like if Allah willed. But how are you supposed to know if this is what Allah willed for you if you don't put in 110% effort? Because it's only until you back up your action, do your part, and then you leave the rest to Allah, right? And whether you obtain success or no success in this field is inshallah. Then it's inshallah. But only after you put in 110% effort. Don't give me 50% effort and say inshallah. And then you say, oh, it failed. I didn't get success because I only put in 50% effort. So it's inshallah. It's ultimately Allah didn't want this to happen to me. No. It's not inshallah. It's not because Allah willed for you to fail. It's because you didn't put enough effort, bro. The only way of knowing if this is truly what Allah willed for you is to put in 110% effort and action every day towards those goals. And in whatever success or no success you have is ultimately up to Allah. But you wouldn't know that unless you put in 110% effort. See, there's some things that I've done in my life where I put in 110% effort, but I didn't get the results I wanted. That is what Allah willed. Allah willed for me to not be successful in this area. So I'm content because at least I put in the action. So now I know for sure that this was not meant for me. But I first put in 110% effort, like sweat, everything. And then it didn't work out. I'm like, okay, fine. This didn't work out. This is ultimate. Allah did not will for me to have this. So I'll be content with it. But the only way I know that it was not actually meant for me, that it was actually inshallah, was only after I put in 110% effort. Because it's only when you put 110% effort first that you know if you were meant to be successful or not successful in this certain endeavor that you're tackling. So people say, oh, inshallah, I'll get married. Inshallah, I'll get in better health. Inshallah, I'll get this job, more money. No. Stop. Before you guys say inshallah, I want you guys to put in 110% effort towards those goals before you ever say inshallah. So if it's to have a better physique, better health, you better put 110% effort towards your health. And then if you improve your health or not, that's inshallah. But I need you to first put in 110% effort first. Because that is ultimately, like, you can feel assured that even if you didn't get the results you wanted, you know it's what Allah willed because you put in the 110% effort. But if you're only putting in like 50% effort, like 30% effort, and you say, oh, inshallah, inshallah, it's like, no. Like, don't complain when you don't get the results. Don't say inshallah if you only put in a 50% effort because you don't know if it actually was that. There's a lot of people that could have had an amazing outcome, but because they said inshallah and because they only put in a 30% effort, they didn't get the results and they were like, oh, ultimately Allah didn't will for me to have this. It's like, no. He might have willed you to have this, but you just had to put in the effort. You didn't put enough effort for you to get the result. You didn't prove to Allah that you deserve this. See, when you back your action, when you back it with relentless action every day, you're proving to yourself, you're proving to Allah that you deserve this. You're like, look, I'm putting all this effort in. And if he doesn't will you to have it, then it's what Allah wills. But you have to first put in the action. See, you have to have the right balance of tawakkul, right, and action. What it means to be Muslim is to take relentless action on the things that you can control, and the things that you cannot control, that are outside of your control, like the outcome, the success, you leave to Allah. Because all the success you have in your life is provided to you from Allah. But in order to achieve success, there was a certain level of action you had to take, right? You have to do your part, So that's why when you become a Muslim, you don't have to worry about the outcome. You don't have to worry about the results or the success or not or no success. Because Allah decides that for you already. What you need to do as a human is to just focus on taking relentless action. So all you should be thinking right now is, how can I take as much action as possible? How can I put in as much effort as possible into this goal? That's what you should be thinking, not inshallah. Because yes, of course it's inshallah. But first put 110% effort before you even try to say inshallah. Because that's what you have to do. You have to do your part. Because Allah is not just going to give you everything if you don't prove to Him, if you don't overcome this test. See, that might be the test. Maybe the test was to see if you actually put in the effort, right? And then once you pass the test, once you pass those results and you actually put in all the effort that you said you were going to, then Allah might will it for you. Well, He might will you to have the success. He might bring you the outcome, the result. But you wouldn't know unless you put in 110% effort. So this is why it's important for you that when you guys are trying to use inshallah, you always have to back up inshallah with 110% effort. Because it's only by taking the action that you will know the true meaning behind inshallah, and you will truly understand and maybe come to realize if this is ultimately what Allah willed for you.